Hi, hey, hello. Welcome. If you're new here, my name is Clara. I love knitting and crocheting and just doing all sorts of crafty things. If you're not new here, welcome back. Thank you so much for clicking on another one of my videos. I'm so happy that you're spending time with me. I'm very excited for this video, and that's mostly because I'm super excited for the project that I will be working on in this video. So a few weeks ago, I was scrolling through Instagram, as one does, and I found this absolutely gorgeous pattern, and it's called the Breeze Cardigan by Knit. I'll put a picture here. It is just an absolutely stunning summer piece, I think. It has both cabled and eyelets, so it's definitely a very interesting knit, and I love the way it looks. And I saw that it was still in testing. So imagine me just sitting here for a few weeks, checking Instagram about 1,000 times a day to see when she would actually release it. It was the hardest thing ever. Obviously I'm joking, but I'm a very impatient person. So if I see something that I like, I want to cast on immediately, or like in general, if I see something I like, I want to do it immediately or buy it immediately. It's really an issue almost, but anyway. Fast forward to this week, or rather the weekend, when she released the pattern finally. Yay! But I quickly realized I did not have any yarn that fit the criteria. So I guess I just took that as a very convenient excuse to buy more yarn. Also, can we talk about this packaging for a second? This is gorgeous. It is bright pink and it has all these cute, like, crafty prints on it. I absolutely love it. I also took this as an opportunity to buy 2 more balls of Drops Lima and 1 more ball of Drops Kid Silk for another project because I needed that for completion. I'm filming these 2 videos at the same time, but I think this one should be up already. So if you're interested what I made out of this beautiful yarn, I will link it in the description and also in the little info card. Yeah, I'd love for you to check that one out as well. And now for the actually exciting part, which is the yarn that I haven't seen yet. It's this. Oh my god, it's so pretty. If you're new to the channel, you probably won't know yet, but I adore yellow. So I did get the yarn that was specified in the pattern, which is the Garn Bio Balance. That's very German of me. It's the Garn Bio Balance. Bio Balance. So this is a 55% wool, 45% cotton blend, which I think is perfect for the summer. And as I said, it's fingering weight, or rather I think it's already a light fingering weight at 225 meters per 50 grams. So that is a pretty thin yarn. I don't know if you can tell. It's definitely, I would say it's like a fingering weight yarn. I think this color is gorgeous. I got 3 skeins to make the smallest size. Is there anything else to say? Yeah, this color, it's the colorway 02, which in German is called grünlichgelb. So basically a greenish yellow is the German description of it. It's like a cold leaning yellow, which sounds counterintuitive because I think usually yellow is a warm color, but yeah, this is a very cool leaning yellow, I would say. And I'm super excited to start knitting. But first, I guess I have to wind this. I've been winding so much yarn for the past few days. You'll see why in the other video if you want to check that out. But I guess there's no way around it if I want to start. So let's get winding. Hello, it is the next day. I have my ball of yarn that I wound up yesterday. I have the pattern here and I'm gonna start swatching. The pattern calls for 3.25 millimeter needles, which I don't have. So I'm gonna try to make my 3.5 millimeter needles work. By which I mean I hope this works out, because I don't know what to do if it doesn't. I think it's really cool because the pattern designer actually has a little swatch chart, which I think is amazing. Yeah, I think that's all I want to say. Let's get cracking. I'm gonna listen to music on the side. Already we're off to a great start because I just had my cabling needle somewhere, but I don't know where I put it. I'll be right back. Please hold.
A few moments later.
Wow, I think I sat on it. I have my cabling needle as well. Alright, I've knit a grand total of 3 rows. This is what we have so far. I know this is way too early to actually properly measure gauge, but I just want to see if I have any chance of hitting gauge. Yeah, this is definitely going to be too large. I'm off by 2 stitches per 4 inches. Or 10 centimeters. I think I have 2 options now. I have 3 options now. The first option is to knit a little bit more, and even if I'm a little above gauge, but I like the way it looks, it's fine, I think. It'll just be a little bit larger. As long as I like the way it looks, I don't really care about it too much. The second option I have is trying to knit a gauge swatch on my 3 millimeter needles that I have. I'm gonna be honest, I feel like if I go down from 3.5 to 3 millimeter, that's gonna be too small. But I should probably at least try it before I do option 3, which would be to buy new needles. My decision is that I'm gonna knit a few more rows to finish one of the pattern repeats. Then I'll measure again and then I'll decide what I'm gonna do. But I can say so far, it's a really fun pattern. I don't know why, but I love knitting with fingering weight yarn. It's so fun. I don't know why. Especially knitting lace and cables on fingering weight yarn sounds like it should feel like torture, but I really enjoy it, so I love this. And the yarn, I like the yarn. It feels soft, but also kind of rustic. Like, it's not super soft. It's not like super wash soft, which makes sense. It's not a super wash. But I like the way this yarn feels. I like the thickness, and I also love the color. So this is very enjoyable. I'm having a great time. So I'm just going to knit a few more rows, and then I'll be back and show you what I have. Welcome back. I knitted a little bit more. I'm going to show it closer to the camera. I think it's super cute. However, I'm way off gauge. I'm 4 to 5 stitches off gauge now. So that kind of leaves no hope. If I imagine, like, even if I wash it and it doesn't grow, there's no way I'm gonna hit gauge with this. So I don't think it looks terrible, but I do think it could look neater with smaller needles. So I think I'm just gonna try with my 3 millimeter needles and hope for the best. Cast on, take 2. Okay, cast on, take 2 done. I'm just gonna knit the same amount again, I think, and then I'll see you again. I just forgot to turn on the camera for the last clip. Like, I turned it on, but I didn't start recording. Oh god. Okay, this is what I have, so you can guess what happened. I knit up the swatch. Surprisingly, my stitch gauge is still too large, so I still have too few stitches, or like my swatch was too wide, is what I'm trying to say. I noticed I'm way off on the row gauge, which is not surprising. It happens quite often, but this time it's rough. So there's supposed to be 37 rows in 10 centimeters, and I knitted 10 rows and had 2 centimeters. So that's a row gauge of 50. Yeah. I did like the way the swatch looked, so I think I'm just gonna stick with 3mm needles, which is good because I don't have to buy new ones then. However, I'm gonna have to knit up a third swatch with my wooden needles, I think. When I knit my Ophelia blouse, I think I mentioned this before, I had trouble with my row gauge when switching needles, and I realized that on my wooden needles I have a way, I never know how to say if it's smaller or larger, but I had less rows in 10 centimeters on my wooden needles. So my rows are higher on my wooden needles, which is really sad because I like knitting lace on these cool metal tips. It's very nice and neat and smooth, but I think I'm just gonna have to try knitting a swatch again on the wooden needles. And then what I'm also gonna do is I'm gonna knit up a larger swatch this time, and I'll wash it. And I'll try to stretch it a little bit maybe and see what I can get to with that. However, it is pretty late. I'm super hungry. I mean, it's not late, but I'm hungry. I need dinner. And I also don't know if I want to knit a third swatch right now. So what I might end up doing is knitting something else tonight and trying again tomorrow. To be honest, I'm not really bothered by it. It's fun, and I think this is a part of the process, so I don't really mind it. I just really want to start this, which is why I'm a little annoyed that I have to knit up the swatch a third time. Also, I'm stressed that I'm not gonna hit the row gauge with my other needles, and I don't know what I should do then. Because I don't know how to change only one part of the gauge, but not the other. You know what I mean? Like, I could obviously size up my needles, but then my stitch gauge would be way off. If anyone has tips for how to only change one part of your gauge and not both, please tell me. I mean, I'm already using the exact same yarn as suggested in the pattern, so I don't know why I'm having this much trouble hitting gauge. Oh well, see you tomorrow with my third attempt. Good morning, everyone. It is Saturday morning, which is why I look like this. Please ignore that. I just got up like half an hour ago, maybe, if that. But I thought I would give you a little update. So for you, it's only gonna have been a few seconds, but for me, it's actually been about 2 weeks since I worked on this project. But I finally started working on it again yesterday. So I have this little knitting club where I live, and I went for the second time yesterday. It was really fun, and I was there much longer than I expected. I was there for 4 hours, so I did half of this yesterday. And just now, when looking at it, I realized that you can tell. So it's a little bit difficult to show, but just about here, so about at the halfway point, you can clearly see a tension difference. Like here, it's wider down here, it's looser down here. I honestly don't think it's that bad. I think it'll block out, and I was off gauge anyway. So if anything, I'm probably on gauge now. Plus, it's not that noticeable. I'm pretty sure it'll block out, and it's gonna be oversized anyway because even the smallest size is like it's cut designed very oversized. So it's not gonna be an issue of it not fitting, I think. It just might look a little odd. But honestly, for me, that's not reason enough to go back. I don't want to undo this. So I'm just going to go with it. Yeah, that's the update on this. Another reason I wanted to update is this is how it's looking before I'm starting the armhole decreases. So I did add a few pattern repeats because it was too short. Again, I'm off gauge, and then also the way the pattern suggests the length was just too short, even though I'm super short, because it's supposed to like hit pretty like high, and I didn't want that. So I added a few repeats. So I'm just gonna start the armhole decreases. I'm expecting this to go really fast because obviously it's gonna get smaller. And then I'll get back to you with my first finished panel, hopefully. So yay, I'm so excited. I love this color and this pattern, it's so pretty. Hey guys, quick update. It's the next day, and this morning I actually finished the first panel. This is what it looks like. This is the right front panel. I did add a little bit of length in, like, compared to the pattern, which makes it look like this. I feel like it looks a little bit odd like this, but once it's blocked and seamed, I think it'll look okay. Right now the proportions just feel a little bit off, but I think that's because it's not blocked yet. So I did that this morning, and then I also cast on the second front panel. I've only done one of the pattern repeats, but I'm planning on going on a walk right now. The weather is really nice, so I'm gonna pack this and maybe knit a little bit outside. Get some vitamin D, get some fresh air, get some movement, walk around a little bit, and it will be good. I'm gonna try to film, so see you out there. It's been a couple of days and I have a few updates for you. So I finished knitting the second front panel last night, and I can show you. So this is the one that I finished last night. The second thing that I just really quickly wanted to show you is that, oh god, there's a hair. I cast on for the back panel, which is a lot bigger, obviously. It's about twice as big. So I think that's gonna take me a while, but I'm excited. It took me so long to cast this on because I didn't realize the stitch pattern was a little bit different. So I kept counting and counting, and I had the right stitch count, but the pattern wasn't working. So that was a little bit frustrating, but I found my mistake. I was just doing the pattern wrong, and now it works out. Tonight I'm probably going to the knitting club again. So I'm gonna be working on this, and I'll see you when I see you. Hey there, it's editing me here. I realized I have way too many clips for this video, so I've decided to split this vlog into several parts, and this marks the end of the first part. So I hope you enjoyed it this far. I have to admit, the following clips are definitely going to be a little bit more chaotic. So if you're only interested in serious knitting content, I would suggest you stop here. If you want to see a little bit of unhinged life content as well, stay tuned for the second part. That should be out in hopefully next week. I'm currently prepping for exams, which is the reason why the next part is probably going to be a little bit more unhinged, but I'm really busy because of that, so please be patient, and I'm working on the second part and the third part as well. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. Maybe leave a comment about what you want to see next, and come back next week if you want to see this series continue. So once again, thank you so much for spending time with me, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!